It's Saturday, September 13th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in today. Just got back from dog training. Turbo had his class today. He's taken a nap, exhausted, worked on obedience, agility, and bite work. You know, when I make these videos, I share with all of you that, I do boxing, jiu-jitsu, I hit the range, I'm hitting the gym, I'm doing, I'm just covering all the bases. And I would never tell anybody to do anything I don't do. I think that these things are extremely important, even to the degree that my dog is doing it. Turbo is 13 weeks old, and he is in a class learning obedience, agility, and bite work. So there is no excuses. Especially if you have kids, you got to be giving kids a foundation, something that they can take with them the rest of their lives, that they at least have a chance. So we just got back. He's taking a nap. He's exhausted. I'm tired. We had a very early morning, but these are the things that have to get done, especially with this move that's coming up in a few weeks. Turbo is going to be an intricate part of the family, and he has a job to do. That is to protect the animals, protect the family, protect the assets. And of course, we have layers of protection, tools, cameras, alarms, the dogs, all of it, and of course, our own training. So think about that. It is something to think about. I shot some video. It will be on Patreon later this evening. A little further in-depth discussion about that. So make sure to check it out. I want to shift gears here a little bit. I've got some articles I want to share with all of you. The first one coming from The Hedge. The dangerous market outlook the cowards on the financial media can't tell you. Well, of course, they can't tell you how bad things really are. They can tell you that everything's fine, that the stock market, even though it's in the biggest bubble of all time, they'll tell you to keep buying into it. They'll tell you to go buy a house, even though real estate is completely, again, the biggest bubble we have ever seen. They keep telling you to buy into these overvalued markets, not warning you of the dangers. More people right now are losing jobs than I can remember. The Wall Street machine is directly linked to employment. Ask yourself this: when the jobs go, what are these people going to do? The first thing they're going to do is they're going to turn to their brokerage accounts, their retirement accounts for liquidity. They're cashing out. Why? Because they don't have a job. They got to pay the mortgages. They got to go to the grocery store. They got to make the car payments. They're going to cash out. They're going to need liquidity. We now are seeing major cracks in the dam. Discretionary spending sinking. Credit card delinquencies skyrocketing. Auto loan delinquencies skyrocketing, bankruptcies skyrocketing. Next is going to be the housing market. We're going to see big trouble in the housing market. So get ready. You can listen to the people on the television, but this bubble has gone on for way too long. And at some point, like every other bubble, it will burst. This one, though, is going to be much different. We have multiple bubbles. These bubbles were allowed and artificially injected time and time again, not allowed to deflate. When they do, it's going to be horrific. Economiccollapse.com. Super fake numbers from fake bureaucrats cause people to believe in fake economic prosperity that never existed. So true, so true. And if you tell a lie enough, people begin to believe it. Even people who have no money in the bank, who have no assets, who've lost a job, they believe. There's people out there that believe that things are still good because the television tells them so. The stock market tells them so. How did 911,000 jobs just suddenly disappear into thin air? Major incompetence? Yes, of course it was. Was it done on purpose? I don't see any other answer, but yes. How could it not have been done on purpose? This is so incompetent. It's impossible to be this incompetent. 2 million jobs from the past 3 years of the Sleepy Joe administration have now been revised away. They told you for years everything was fine, and now the truth is coming out, and it's getting more and more difficult to hide the truth. Salesforce has cut 4,000 customer support jobs. Employers shed 12,000 manufacturing jobs in August, while payrolls in the sector have shrunk by 42,000 since April. And this is really concerning because we need manufacturing jobs. We are getting destroyed in our manufacturing sector. Large banks continue to shut down local branches at a staggering pace. We have so many banks out here in the desert, empty bank buildings, gone. So many. And we're going to see more. Our economy has slowly been deteriorating for years. People go, when's the collapse going to happen? When's the collapse going to happen? I mean, years ago, I was making videos, probably what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was, probably about 5 years ago, on the retail apocalypse. It hasn't ended. It continues. We have more vacancies than ever. We have more debt than ever. The deficits are bigger than ever. And the average household is in bigger trouble than ever. The average person in America is drowning in debt. Our society, ladies and gentlemen, is on the edge of the abyss. And I think we're going to fall into the abyss. And I think we're going to fall into some very, very dark times as a nation. And I hope you're ready for this. I hope you're doing something to prepare. And remember this. If you make foolish decisions today, they will catch up to you tomorrow with very, very serious consequences. Think about what you're doing today, because you may pay for foolish decisions that you're making today. You'll pay for them tomorrow. And the consequences are going to be very, very bad. Poverty ticked up among U.S. seniors in 2024. This on The Hedge today. 9.9% of U.S. adults aged 65 and older were experiencing poverty in 2024. I guarantee you it's worse in 2025. It's 1 in 10. How in the world do we justify giving money all over the world? How do we justify doing this when we have so many of our own people in poverty? Last I checked, I think food insecurity in America was 18%, 45 million people on food stamps. The U.S. savings rate for the last few years has been under 5%. Half the country has less than $500 saved up. This ends bad. This ends bad. And really quick, just a quick side note here. I was watching some news today on Charlie Kirk and the suspect. All this stuff coming out with the suspect. Wow, this is a can of worms has been opened up. Looked like this guy grew up in a pretty nice household, upper middle class. His father was in law enforcement for 30 years, had a mom, a dad, Christian family. And this guy went off the rails. And now what we're finding out about him, this guy definitely seems to have some issues and a lot of hatred, a lot of hatred. And what I see in this country more and more is hatred. There's so much hate, and you can see it on people's faces. We've said this many times on videos. Just people walking around there, they look miserable. They look upset. They look triggered. They're short-fused. We have a nation spiraling out of control. This nation needs God now more than ever. And the more we turn our back on God, the more of this we're going to see. Consumer sentiment worsens as some economists warn of stagflation. ABC News. What do you think? Yeah, the economy is going to continue to slow down. Inflation's going to rise. We're going to see more job losses. It's a bad combination, folks. Real bad combination. King World News. Peter Schiff. Expect gold and silver panic buying, plus the big move in silver is coming. Good article. And, you can Google any one of these articles. Please do your own due diligence. Don't take my word for it. Peter Schiff, pretty smart guy. He's been pretty right about everything. He says this: the Fed has made a lot of mistakes, but history will likely record this next rate cut as their biggest. Think about what they're doing. Inflation is rising, and they're going to cut interest rates. It will set in motion a series of rate cuts and a return to quantitative easing. The dollar's reserve currency status will be lost. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this. I think we're well on the road to it. I think that this will set the economy and the dollar up for failure. It's failing now. It's going to fail a lot more once they do this. This is pouring gasoline on a fire, in my opinion. And this will be a historical black eye on the Federal Reserve after they do this. Big, big mistake. Another one today. Global reach. China reveals giant nuclear missile with 12,427 mile strike range. So I want us all to think about this. This missile can travel over 12,000 miles. Nuclear. So while we're here fighting, dividing the nation, deleting people's lives who have an opinion and want to help America become a better nation, support families, support God, support the church, support America, support freedom, support free speech, etc., etc. While we have people here taking people out like that, dividing the country even more, China is developing very, very advanced weapons. And we better be very, very careful because we are becoming a very, very weak nation. We're becoming weak financially because we're bankrupt. Our infrastructure continues to crumble. The nation is severely divided. The nation, in my opinion, is turning its back on God. Churches, for the most part, are basically nowhere to be found. I don't see the churches really stepping out saying anything about what just happened about Charlie Kirk either. Not saying that some haven't. And there are some great churches out there. I don't want to categorize everybody in the same boat here, but a majority of the churches are too scared to talk about this. They're too scared to talk about what's happening in the environment of America right now. They just want the money. They're corporations. They're corporations now. 501c3, they want the money. We better wake up really, really fast because China is gaining ground and China is not playing games. This is really, really serious stuff. Here's another one. US Magnesium files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy as Utah seeks to shutter operations. So apparently they were having some environmental issues in Utah and they got shut down. And this now makes us even more dependent on China for these rare earth minerals, right? That we need for AI, for electric vehicles, for just about everything, for our military. And where are we going to get this stuff from? We're going to get it from China because we can't even mine this stuff ourselves without being shut down for environmental issues. And look, if it is an environmental issue, then look, what we have to do, we have to shut it down. China doesn't care about environmental issues. They're going to keep mining half the world. And most of the world will be dependent on China for these rare earth minerals. Daily Mail, Trump makes stunning threat to NATO allies over oil as he calls for sweeping new tariffs. NATO is extremely hypocritical. They push for war with Russia, but at the same time, they buy tons of oil from Russia, supporting Russia. So gigantic hypocrites. In my opinion, this thing has gone on long enough. Let NATO, let Europe, let Ukraine, let Russia sort this out the old-fashioned way. We need to stop supporting this financially. We need to step out of this and let them figure it out. And the winner takes all. That's just how the world works, right? Let them figure it out, and whoever wins, wins. I don't want to see American lives jeopardized or going over there. I don't want to see any more billions of dollars going over there. I don't want to finance death like we've been doing since this thing began. I don't want to be financing corruption, my opinion. I don't want my tax dollars going there. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. It is a dangerous time, ladies and gentlemen, and things are heating up. Things are accelerating. They will continue to do so. I can't even forecast anything for 2026 yet because we still have so much time left in 2025. And what just happened, absolutely incredible. And there's a lot of people out there right now very, very worried about being in public, speaking. And every one of you should be concerned too. And you should really, really take your security seriously. You should be exercising situational awareness. Again, you could be wearing the wrong shirt. You could be wearing the wrong hat. You could say the wrong thing. You could be supporting the wrong thing. You could be voting for the wrong thing, etc. and you could be a target. Or you could just be a target of crime, because we have so much of that too. So you're being targeted for your beliefs. Criminals are targeting you for money and assets. So be very, very careful out there. I've never seen America in the shambles that it is in now, and it's not getting better. It seems to me it's getting worse. I believe it's going to continue to get worse before it gets better. Who knows? Does it ever get better? Or is this the new world that we live in America? Is this the new world? The new world of America. Be as self-sufficient as you can. Make sure you can handle your business. Make sure you're training. I cannot stress these things enough, ladies and gentlemen. And the only people that oppose this or will judge it are the people who can't get off the couch, the people who don't have the guts to put a little skin in the game, the people who don't have the guts to feel a little bit of pain or be in an uncomfortable position, can't dedicate, don't have the structure or discipline to learn the skills, to get to the range, to get out in the mats, to get in the ring, to do these things. For the people that do the gladiators, the warriors, you got to have the mindset, continue grinding it out, continue adding those skills. Take the time that we have right now. We don't know how much more time there is. Take the time right now to get the mindset, to get in better physical shape, to learn the skills and the tactics to defend yourself. Pray to God you never are ever in a position where you have to use these things. But if you are, you will thank God you have the skills. You will thank God you have these skills, because you will only be able to resort back to your training, whether that's using tools, whether that's your hands, whatever it may be. We all resort back to our training. If you have no training, you have no chance. You're done. So put the odds in your favor and be training. You should be at the range. You should be at the gym. You should be doing jiu-jitsu. You should be doing boxing. You should be doing something. Maybe you can't do all of it, but do something. Again, the only people who would be against this are the people sitting on the couch that can't get off the couch, probably because they're incapable of getting off the couch. They got a box of Twinkies on their lap. They're in mom's basement. They don't like pain. They don't like discipline. These are the only people that would be against this message right now. The people that don't have the warrior mindset. The people that will never, ever stand up for anything. No, the people that will never put any skin in the game. The people that will never risk anything. The weak people. These are the weak people. Don't be weak. Don't be a sheeple. Be strong. Have the warrior mindset. Talk to all of you soon.